Okay, so now that we have gone through all the basics, here is the trap that I discovered myself into the first year of me trying to like be a self-taught artist. I already did the art school. I didn't get much of the education. I was just kind of like left out in the open like a blind deer, and I've been trying to like find work. But then I took a hard step back and looked at my own work, and I figured that I set myself a bar a long time ago when I was a kid, and I want to reach that bar before I start working professionally. So I went back to the drawing board and started looking up all these fundamental practices. I didn't know why I was doing these things, but my thought was that I was supposed to practice these fundamental stuff for hours out of the day before I start drawing. I used to spend 2 to 3 hours practicing straight lines, curvy lines, circles and ellipses, everything for at least 2 to 3 pages, sometimes even 5. It was just way too much. I'm not drawing as much as I wanted to. I'm not doing the other fun stuff like trying to get better at anatomy or even drawing my own stuff. I spent most of my time on the fundamentals. And this was the rabbit hole that I first got myself into. You don't need to spend hours of a day drawing pages of pages and pages of lines, circles and ellipses, boxes, cubes, and shapes. You don't have to spend an hour. You can allocate 10 to 15 minutes just that's just something you want to do on the side, you know, just before I start drawing, let me get my wrists or my arm warmed up. Let me just get my body in the mode of just drawing and doodling first. And after that, you can do whatever you want. You can just jump into drawing your own characters, or you can jump on next to the next assignment, the next thing you want to get better at. For me, it's hands. So I will jump from fundamental practices to drawing hands, and then next to another topic where I don't know, I never drawn this stuff before. And I follow a lot of Fang Zhu, and Fang Zhu has a great video where he just kind of talks about the bar. It's like a game, to be honest, about sketching and how much room for error for each topic. And what you want to do is start off with the easiest things to draw. Not relatively easy, but stuff that people don't really see on a normal day-to-day basis unless you're an expert in that field, where you have room to mess up. And it's between 30 to 50% room for error, and no one's gonna be the wiser. Everyone's just gonna think it's good. And I've tried this out myself, and I was drawing turtles, which I never drew before. I never drew reptiles. And I started drawing reptiles, and when I showed people, they were like awed, like, oh my God, that's a really good turtle. In the back of my head, I'm like, no, I messed up a lot, but no one's gonna know. So starting off at the very bottom and just working my way up. I remember spending hours just doing lines, circles, and ellipses, and that did not make me any better at drawing the human figure or an anatomy. It didn't help at all. They had their own reasons on, like, I spent hours out of my day, time. I put in work hours just drawing and just doing the fundamentals. And I wasted like perfectly like good tone paper because I was just so eager to get better. I just it kind of like escaped my mind that I was like, I should just probably just get plain regular white paper. No, I'm gonna use the fancy stuff for fundamental stuff. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I need tone paper to try using markers and the white pencils and stuff like that to show tones. And I don't know, I kind of went gung-ho with the fundamental stuff, and I just started using anything I had. But yeah, it didn't help me get any better at drawing hands, or it didn't help me get any better at drawing people. These fundamental things have their place. So instead of practicing these fundamentals for hours out of the day, I suggest that you just do it for 10 to 15 minutes as a warm-up. I got this idea from watching a lot of Thomas Frank, which is a productivity channel that he hosts, and he drops nothing but dumb-ass knowledge next to Improvement Pill. And I'm all about improvement and trying to just be better and everything. So as efficient as I can be, I want to hit that mark and get to point A to point B within a certain amount of time. Not really geared on like having like a 5-year plan where like in 2 to 3 years I'm gonna master this and just do this. No, I just want to work at a high enough efficiency level where I can learn as much as I can and just continuously like progress throughout the year. And that is the entire goal of this new year. I remember in one of Thomas Frank's videos, I can't remember which one because I binged them all, but he talked about the Palmetto Method. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but it's when you spend 25 minutes or more, I believe it's 30 minutes or more if you want, on a said topic. And that's going to be uninterrupted, totally focused. Like I'm just only focusing on this subject for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you could either choose to continue to do the work since you already entered the flow state, or you can stop and switch subjects. I like to stop and switch subjects just to keep my mind going. So I spend 25 to 30 minutes drawing hands, and then once that timer goes off, I switch off to the next one. And depending on how I feel about, like, if I'm feeling really good and I'm like already lost into my own work, I will continue to keep drawing. So apparently the human mind has the potential to only be focused and learn for, was it 30 minutes, 45 tops? It's never longer than an hour. Eventually our brain gets full of all this information and just kind of tells us that like, I'm full, let's stop, let's take a break. If you don't remember what this feels like, think about it like when you was in high school and you just sat there for like an hour plus in the same class and they're just talking and talking and talking. Or if you're in college and you have these 2-hour lectures, eventually your mind wanders and you stop paying attention at some point. So my entire routine for this exercise is that I will normally start my day with a workout. I already did something physically hard for the day, and therefore I am transitioning into doing something a little bit more technical, and that's not taxing on the body. So I just start drawing right after I'm done with my shower and this, that, and the other. And then I spend an hour and 15 minutes total for my entire warm-up of fundamentals. And after that, I move on to my next thing where I either work on a personal project or I keep on studying or practicing another thing. I've been doing this thing for like 2 to 3 months now, and I am loving the results. The amount of work that I'm able to produce within a month is astounding, and that's if I'm already like a busy person. I have work and stuff like that, and I wish I could just draw more, but gotta pay these bills somehow. If you want to, you guys can do the same. You can even add more time to it, or you can give yourself restrictions or guidelines to how you're gonna get better. I suggest that you make your game the way you wanna make it, where it's gonna be easy enough for you to win. I remember when I spent 25 minutes on the subject where I never drawn before, like lizards and stuff. I spent 25 minutes drawing one lizard, as in I am focusing as much as I can to understand the shapes and how I can construct a lizard in basic primitive shapes, and then I'm adding detail on top of it, and I'm learning how I can like draw less and still have more, as in especially when it comes to the scales, how the pattern is on the entire body. How can I draw less of those textures and make it still look believable or even good or passable? I feel like I learn more that way when I'm just spending 25 to 30 minutes on one drawing, and I'm just really focusing on how I can improve it. With that, you have your entire routine right there if you want. But you can spend just 15 minutes alone just doing fundamentals. Fundamentals, 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 fundamentals. Fundamentals. And that's basically it. Basically that is it. That it's all it takes. You can do this every day or every other day. You make up the game. You are the master of your own world. You are the author of your own story. You get to set up the parameters of everything. If you guys like this video, give it a like. Comment down below. Tell me if you guys find this information helpful, useful. I'll be posting videos every week, and that is something that I'm trying to hold myself accountable to. So this is a new year, new season, new everything, and I am trying to help out the artists that, you know, struggle with certain aspects of art. My name is Millhouse. If you guys like this video, give me a like, subscribe if you want. 2020, let's get it. Let's get good together. So I want to help out anybody who has questions on this stuff. I don't see myself as a pro. I just see myself as a person that uses their time in a certain way to get the most bang for the buck. And I just feel like for a self-taught artist, I like to just give out all this information to help you guys avoid these rabbit holes and avoid making all these same mistakes that I have made. So new series, get good, 2020, let's do it. You guys have a goodie. Peace.